Hi everyone, and welcome to Listen and Speak Vietnamese with Certain Dialect. This video is one of videos about sharing experiences of learning Vietnamese. Today I would like to introduce a young person from America. He has been learning Vietnamese very well. He's good at listening, speaking, writing, especially he can speak Vietnamese like a Vietnamese person who lives in Vietnam. In this video, he will share his experience of learning Vietnamese. Well, let's meet him now. Chào em tự giới thiệu về mình đi.
Alo, xin chào mọi người. Tôi là John Wood. Tôi là người Mỹ từ Austin, Texas. Tôi làm kỹ sư phần mềm và tôi đã học tiếng Việt được 3 năm rồi. Thầy giáo của tôi là thầy Thành.
Em đã đến Việt Nam bao giờ chưa?
Tôi chưa bao giờ qua Việt Nam, nhưng hy vọng sẽ có dịp sớm.
Cái kỹ năng em quan tâm nhất khi học tiếng Việt là gì?
Tôi nghĩ mọi người sẽ học bằng một cách riêng theo mục đích của họ. Đối với tôi, mục đích tôi muốn tiến bộ nhất là có thể nghe người Việt Nam nói chuyện với nhau một cách hoàn toàn tự nhiên. My goal, what I'm most interested in, is developing listening skills to where I can hear Vietnamese people, hopefully, speaking to each other completely naturally, and even when they use sentences full of vocabulary that I don't know yet, I want to be able to rely on my listening skills to power through, so that if as long as I've clearly heard the syllables that they said, then I can repeat what they've said and ask questions about all the vocab that I don't know. The main reason I want to do this is because it seems like a lot of fun. Much more fun than my first attempts to learn Vietnamese about 3 years ago. When I started out, I didn't really have any particular goal. I'd hear a word in Vietnamese and I noticed that the spelling of the word, the written form of the word, is what would flash in my mind pretty much every time when I heard the word. But just 1 second after hearing it, for the life of me, I couldn't remember the sound of the word that I just heard. All that lingered in my brain was the spelling. And of course, that was only for the words that I had already studied. So maybe you can guess what's coming next. What do you think happened for words that I had not studied? And maybe this has happened for you too. It's not that I just heard gibberish. Instead, my brain seemed to want to shove all the words I heard, whether I knew them or not, or a lot of them, into little boxes, into the like I was hearing the words that I had already studied. So I was constantly hearing words from my limited vocabulary in all sorts of places, even though that's not what people were saying. And another way this presented was I would hear two words that sound very similar. It seemed my brain would just randomly choose the meaning of one of them in the moment. For example, ba, which means old lady or grandmother, and ba, which means father. So I'd be doing some Vietnamese audio practice, and I'd have to puzzle out the meaning based on context from sentences later. So I'd be like, okay, what happened to the old lady? Where did she go? There was an old lady, wasn't there? So based on that experience, I then got very excited about working on listening skills. I like to practice this by listening to Vietnamese audio and seeing how many of the tones I can hear. I don't just listen to the same passage over and over until I get it right. Instead, I I just keep shoveling more listening material, and I'm just keeping track mentally of whether I got it right or wrong. So if I have any doubt about whether I got it right, then I consider that as getting it wrong for my purposes. And as you might imagine, when I started out, I was getting it wrong 90% of the time. But a year later, only 70% of the time. Another year later, 50%. Even though I never feel myself making progress day to day, sometimes it feels like it's flatlining. But over the course of weeks, I definitely noticed the progress happening over the span of months, and that part has definitely been a lot of fun. Now, I follow Tan Pham's advice to the letter. Don't forget to review the old lessons. Whenever I get time to practice Vietnamese, I spend probably at least 80% of that time reviewing old material. I have listened to the audio lessons he provided probably like 1,000 times over the last 3 years. I try to cycle through different listening material so I don't accidentally start memorizing it. And later on, once my listening skills started to progress, I started watching a lot of videos on YouTube like Doraemon, Cuộc đua kỳ thú, Bạn muốn hẹn hò, Quà tặng cuộc sống, Truy tìm hung thủ, một phim bộ của SCTV14. You can watch that on YouTube. Shin cậu bé bút chì. And I've tried to watch some Vietnamese YouTubers like Jackie Natsumi. And more recently, I practiced with audiobooks from authors like Nguyễn Nhật Ánh and other audiobooks from Thư viện Sách Nói, particularly the ones that are read by Hướng Dương. Anyway, eventually, once I've got the listening to where I want it to be, not sure how long that'll take, I will have to come up with a new goal, and probably something related to reading, speaking. Maybe I'll learn how to understand giọng Huế, if that's actually even possible. Okay. Thanks, everyone.